Hello, and welcome to this presentation on the supply chain for Apple's new iPhone Series 16. My name is Shauna Solomonic, and I will be your presenter for this evening. Now, you'll want to buckle up for this ride because we've got some interesting things to go over. Analyzing Apple's supply chain using the SCORE model or Supply Chain Operations Reference Model. It's a framework designed to provide a standardized way to understand, measure, and optimize supply chain processes based on the 6 key areas you can see listed here. The plan aspect involves forecasting demand, managing inventory, and supply planning. Next, we have source, which focuses on procuring the materials or components needed to create the product. Following that is make, which covers manufacturing processes, production scheduling, quality management, and things of that nature. The deliver part of the SCORE model covers Apple's logistics, distribution channels, and transportation modes. Next, we have return, which governs reverse logistics, recycling, and disposal. And lastly, enable, which encompasses all processes in supply chain management that play critical roles in operational support. For demand planning, Apple uses both qualitative and quantitative methods. On the qualitative side, Apple leverages expert opinions and consumer sentiment analysis, or social listening. They consult industry experts and analysts to refine their demand forecasting models, and this helps them anticipate demand across different consumer segments and tailor their marketing approach. Social listening utilizes real-time sentiment data from social media to help them understand market trends and anticipate customer preferences for upcoming products. On the quantitative side, Apple relies on advanced statistical modeling and machine learning. According to the article Demand Forecasting Strategies at Apple Inc. by Prezi, Apple uses techniques like moving averages and regression analysis to identify demand patterns. Apple also integrates predictive analytics and machine learning algorithms to analyze big data. These models process historical sales data and external factors, continuously learning and adapting to deliver highly accurate forecasts even in unpredictable market conditions. When it comes to inventory planning, Apple maintains a lean inventory by employing just-in-time inventory management. This approach minimizes carrying costs and reduces waste, allowing Apple to respond swiftly to changes in demand and market conditions. This requires precise supply planning and close collaboration across the entire supply chain. Apple ensures seamless and transparent communication across various channels, including with partners, suppliers, and delivery companies. And this sharing of relevant information helps in making better planning decisions and results in a smoother process of getting the product into the hands of consumers. Transparent and real-time data sharing between all channels of the supply chain increases its resilience, which is highly important in risk management. If something goes wrong or a channel is disrupted, open communication allows for quick changes and contingency plans to be implemented as soon as needed. For sourcing, Apple's sourcing strategy is a cornerstone of its operational excellence, focusing on strategic supplier relationships, rigorous procurement processes, and a commitment to sustainability and ethical sourcing. Apple maintains a global supply chain, sourcing components from over 200 key suppliers, primarily based in China, which you can see on the map here, and this accounts for 97% of its supply chain. These suppliers are held to stringent standards of production capabilities and environmental and ethical guidelines assessed through regular audits and improvement programs to ensure compliance with Apple's Supplier Code of Conduct. Major suppliers include Foxconn, Pegatron, Wiston, and Luxshare, providing crucial components of the iPhone, including aluminum, glass, silicone, and various rare earth minerals. This globalization of Apple's supply chain enables Apple to leverage economies of scale and maintain flexibility in production, which is covered under the next aspect of the SCORE model, make. As Apple suppliers go through a thorough vetting process, including production quality assessments, quality management is entrusted to each individual supplier at the end of their respective production processes. Apple employs the total quality management approach, which encourages employee involvement, continuous improvement, and a customer and process-centered approach. Different facilities are responsible for different components of the iPhone. For example, Foxconn uses advanced robotic systems, precision engineering, and highly skilled labor to create processors, circuit boards, screens, and batteries, which are then shipped to assembly facilities where Apple devices are put together. Most of the production and assembly processes are automated, as is the production scheduling. This allows for efficient coordination, flexibility, and effectively streamlined operations. Lastly, before the product is finalized, it goes through comprehensive quality testing to ensure Apple standards are being met. And you can see just how high Apple standards are in this YouTube video, which shows iPhones going through drop tests, water pressure tests, and more. The distribution of iPhones is but one part of the deliver process of the SCORE model. As assembly facilities are mainly found in China, iPhones are then shipped via air, sea, and ground transportation to centrally located distribution centers and warehouses in key regions including the United States, Germany, and China. Air freight is utilized for rapid delivery, especially during new product launches to meet that immediate demand. Then sea freight is employed for cost-effective bulk shipping, balancing speed and expense. And ground transportation using 3PLs facilitates regional distribution from warehouses to retail outlets and customers. As Apple employs an omnichannel distribution approach, customers can find the iPhone 16 at Apple stores, authorized retailers, or purchase it online for delivery and pickup. If you happen to receive a faulty iPhone, or maybe yours is broken, or you'd simply like to upgrade to the newest series, Apple manages comprehensive reverse logistics and recycling programs to manage product returns, promote sustainability, and minimize environmental impact. Through the Apple Trade-in program, customers can return old devices in exchange for credit towards new purchases. Eligible devices are then refurbished and resold, extending their life cycle and reducing waste. Apple operates a closed-loop supply chain in this way, meaning iPhones that are deemed irreparable can then be recycled and the rare mining components recovered using disassembly robots like Daisy pictured here. These rare mining components recovered are then reused in the production of new iPhones. By refurbishing and recycling devices, Apple minimizes the volume of electronic waste that ends up in landfills, mitigating environmental hazards. Additionally, recovering and reusing materials from old devices decreases the demand for new raw materials, leading to the conservation of natural resources and reduction in environmental degradation. All of this is made possible by the technological integration, supplier collaboration, compliance and risk management, and talent development that Apple employs to enable their supply chain. Apple leverages advanced information systems to enhance supply chain visibility and coordination. By integrating real-time data analytics, Apple can monitor inventory levels, track shipments, and forecast demand more accurately, ensuring a responsive and agile supply chain. Apple also maintains close relationships with its suppliers, fostering collaboration through shared technology platforms and regular communication. This partnership approach enables synchronized planning and execution across the supply chain, aligning production schedules and reducing lead times. In regards to these suppliers, Apple enforces strict compliance standards, focusing on labor practices, environmental regulations, and ethical sourcing. Regular audits and assessments are conducted to ensure adherence to these standards, mitigating risks and promoting sustainability. Lastly, investing in human capital is a top priority for Apple. The company provides training and development programs to enhance the skills of its workforce, ensuring that employees are equipped to manage complex supply chain operations effectively. This is extremely important because they employ the TQM approach, which means employees are responsible for ensuring the production quality of each component they manage, making their development and training crucial for the success of the business. By focusing on these enabling processes, Apple supports its core supply chain activities, ensuring efficiency, compliance, and continuous improvement. But the most immediate challenge faced by Apple right now that could potentially largely impact their distribution of the iPhone 16 is the ban on rare mining exports proposed by China in response to President-elect Trump's tariff introduction. As a large majority of Apple's production and assembly factories are located in China, and these rare mining components are used to make iPhones, Apple faces a huge supply chain disruption. To mitigate this export ban's effects, restructuring Apple's distribution network may be necessary. Both China and America hold Apple's warehouses and distribution centers, as does Germany. So it may be possible to reroute Apple products to Germany first, and then air or sea freight them to the United States from there. Only time will tell if China and the US will both go through with their proposed trading halts, giving Apple time to implement any contingency plans necessary. Luckily, with how deeply integrated their entire supply chain is, this restructuring may not have as negative an impact on the iPhone 16 supply as it could. And with that, I'd like to close this presentation by saying thank you for your time and for coming along with me on this ride as we explored the iPhone 16 supply chain. Have a great day.